How long were they supposed to stay there?
For 1 year.
And how long did they stay there?
They stayed there for 9 months.
Okay. And what did they give you as a reason for why they were moving?
No reason. They just left.
All right. How did you find out that they had left?
Well, I was notified by the neighbors.
And what did the neighbors tell you?
They told me nobody's here. It took me a few weeks to find out.
So you just never heard from them again?
No.
All right. So let me hear from you. Why did you guys move out? Mr. Abney, let's start with you.
Right. Yes, Your Honor. So my girlfriend and I moved out early because we did not feel safe in the neighborhood.
Why did you not feel safe?
Okay, I'm so sorry. His voice. I was not expecting that. I'm not going to judge him for his voice. That's all I'm going to say about that.
There were numerous incidents that occurred that made both of us feel uncomfortable and that required us to vacate the premises as soon as possible.
Okay, those are conclusions that you're making. And in order to win in court today, you're being sued to pay the rest of the lease. For you to win, you have to persuade me of what you just said. So rather than drawing a conclusion, you're going to have to get really specific with me. Okay. What exactly made you feel unwelcome in the neighborhood or unsafe in the neighborhood? Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, there were various incidents involved with my girlfriend that made us feel uncomfortable. And such as when she had her nephew's visit in July, there was a neighbor where they were playing outside.
And then they were playing soccer, and the ball decided to hit their yard. And the neighbor...
Well, they hit the ball into the yard. And so they went to go get it?
Yes, my nephew went to go get the ball. And then
Is there a fence around the area or no?
Yes, there is a fence. So it went over the fence.
Your nephew went over the fence? How old's your nephew?
They're 10 and 12. They're very good soccer players.
Yeah, they're very good soccer players? Apparently not, because they ended up going in a foul zone, and then they jumped somebody's fence. But anyway, so go ahead. So what happened?
Yes. Okay, so the neighbor came out, and he said to them, hey, you don't belong here. Get your ball and leave.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, that's already pretty hairy. But there's something about the boyfriend that is sticking out to me. He's not very confident. Either he's not confident speaking in front of a lot of people, or he's not confident in the story, which kind of makes me suspect of this. What do you guys think? Do you think that maybe they're lying or telling the truth? I guess we'll find out.
And so my nephews came over to me and started crying, saying that, hey, this lady was just being mean to us. Our ball accidentally went over their fence.
I know, but you should say, so did you tell them the next time, ring the doorbell and say, I'm sorry, my ball went inside of your yard. Can I please go in there and get it, rather than jumping a fence and getting shot? You know.
Yes, but the thing is, the
Where
way
are you guys
that she
from?
said it.
Where are you?
We were in Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but the fact is that the way that she said that was kind of rude. You don't say to a child that you don't belong here. Like,
No.
that's disrespectful.
You felt it was racial, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Well, I
You
don't know.
belong
So
here
that my question to you is, that neighbor was white?
Yes.
Okay.
The percentage of that whole neighborhood is white. So,
Okay. And did you ever go over, like, are you friends with that neighbor? Like, are you friendly with that neighbor? Like, did you ever go to the neighbor and say, hey, you know,
when I moved there, I was very friendly with everybody. It was just that I didn't receive that same, acknowledgement back. So yes, I was friendly with this neighbor, but she wasn't friendly back with me, as well as the other neighbors that were living there. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you ever go talk to them after this happened with the nephews?
I did not.
Okay.
I
Did you
talked
ever
to my
go talk to
boyfriend
them?
about it, and he talked to the landlord
Okay.
about
Did
it.
you ever go talk to those neighbors after that happened with the nephews?
Right, yeah, I went to go talk to them, and she just kind of said, like, oh, I'm sorry, I was having an off day, but I did email Mr. Novak about it to tell him about that disturbance, and...
Wait, I'm sorry, you emailed the landlord to tell him that your nephews kicked the ball onto private property, jumped a fence, got... The neighbor who saw them in their fence was rude, and you told the landlord why. What was he supposed to do about it?
Well, I thought that maybe he'd be able to
handle the situation.
How?
Because the neighbors always go to him and complain to him about whatever they're complaining about to him about.
How do you know? Stop. The neighbors always go to him and complain to them about what? What do the neighbors complain to you about regarding them?
Well, this is an old lady, Your Honor, and she is just an angry person.
What's your understanding of what she called and complained to him about?
It's not just only her. What I'm saying is that there's other neighbors that always make small little complaints or small little remarks.
How do you know, I guess, is what I'm trying to...
Because he tells me
That's what I'm asking you. So what did he tell you?
So he would tell me, like, for example, another incident that we had. We were gathering a party, and we invited like 10 people over. I didn't think there was any noise complaints happening, and he said that they told him about the complaint, and and told
Did
us
the
that
police come?
Yeah, the police did
Okay,
come.
so you knew
and-
that somebody was complaining that it was too loud.
Yes.
So the police come, and it's obvious that a neighbor has called, and what did the police say to you?
Right. So it was like we started the party at 5 p.m. and then at 7 p.m. that's when we have to knock on the door and it's the police and they tell us that there's a noise complaint.
All right, so now here's my question to you. Did you complain to the landlord about that?
We asked him about it, just kind of about like, maybe what can we do next time, like so that doesn't happen again. And when we emailed him about it, he like blamed us for the call.
Why? What did he say?
Just like that, it's being so loud. I don't know why you're being such a nuisance.
Okay, did he email that to you?
Yes.
Can I see it?
So here's the thing, though, about that. The neighborhood itself, like, they always have parties. They always have events going on, and we don't ever complain or anything. We don't ever do any of that stuff. And it's like, it's only fair that we're able to just go ahead and
Well, then,
enjoy our
that
time.
only happened once, the music violation, right?
Yeah, it was only one time.
Okay. The police stopped by questioning us about our guests. There have been several gatherings and parties in the neighborhood, way more people. I've never seen the police stop by. This is concerning.
Never seen it.
In addition to how people have
Oh,
not
look at
been
that.
friendly to Letitia since she moved in. You were on the lease originally, correct?
Yes.
And then did you add her to the lease, or did you get permission for her to move in, or how did that work out?
Yeah, so I was living in this area for like 6 months and we were taking our relationship to the next level. So I got approval from Mr.
From him?
Novak.
Yeah. Okay.
And she was
so did you actually sign a lease as well?
Yes, it
Yes.
did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And in the future, if you have a party or gathering, please notify me and the neighbors in advance. Then you respond a month later. Due to the ongoing discrimination and microaggressions that have happened since we've moved in, we do not feel safe living here. All of our other attempts to alert you to this matter have been unsuccessful. We are vacating the property by the end of the month and expect the $1,500 security deposit refunded in full. In all of my years living there, I have always felt safe. I am not sure what has changed since I moved out 9 months ago. That's him. Unfortunately, there are still 3 months left on your lease. If you do not honor the lease, I will be forced to take this matter to court. Why, you're suing for $4,500, but you have a $1,500 security deposit already?
Correct.
All right, and so you folks ended up, when you say they moved out and I had no idea, there's an email on September 15th, where he tells you that he's moving out, right? Yep.
Correct.
When did the lease end?
End of December.
Okay, so he had already paid September, correct? Because
Correct.
it's September 15th.
Correct.
So it's October, November, and December that you're suing on, right?
Correct.
But you already have a $1,500 security deposit, correct?
Correct,
Did
yes.
they damage anything when they left?
Well, there was a KKK sign on the fence.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh, I did not see that coming. A KKK sign on the fence, on the neighbor's fence or on their fence? That is insane. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think is happening? So far, it doesn't really feel like the couple's story is really rock solid, but that could be a little bit of something about them not being super confident talking about it, or talking in front of people about it. Maybe it's a little bit embarrassing to them. What do you guys think? I guess we're gonna find out.
So, what you describe as microaggressions in this email, tell me what you're referring to.
Well, I had my natural hair out at the time, and the neighbors had a comment that says, "Oh, look at that cotton hair."
Did you say anything
Excuse
to
me?
her?
Yeah, I said, "Excuse me," and she just walked away really fast.
Okay, and then anything else?
That's the one I could just think of off my head. But
Okay,
yes.
well, how about the KKK spray painted to your fence?
Yeah.
Because I would think that would be
That's
take a
the
major
meat of
role in your
everything.
lives.
Yeah.
So does somebody want to tell me about that? Go ahead.
Right. So I just woke up early in the morning in September and I
What
was
day in September? Is it the day you wrote the email to him?
It was
later.
the week
Week
like
later.
a week
A week
after
later.
the email, and I was waking up to go to work, and when I just went outside, like to go to the car, I see it right there on the fence.
Then he calls me down to come and see. I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm done.
Do you have a picture of the spray painting?
Yes, but this tilted it.
Well, I mean, a week earlier you had said, we're moving. We are vacating the property at the end of the month, and we expect our security deposit back. That doesn't sound
okay.
sound like you're vacillating, because when you talk about microaggressions, I do not consider this a microaggression. I consider this a super major
mean,
aggression
yes.
that you make. Yeah, but you make no mention of it here. So it actually does make sense that this was after you'd already decided to move out, because you're referring to them as microaggressions. Somebody sprays KKK and a swastika on my fence? That's a major aggression. When did you first notice the spray painting on the fence?
I was notified by my neighbor.
Which neighbor notified you? The same
lady.
older lady who wants peace
Exactly.
and doesn't
Exactly.
and is not that friendly and is mean maybe to kids or whatever?
Yes.
All right, so and what did she say?
She was calling me. I can't remember the day, but she was really shocked seeing that.
Okay, and then
she
tells
felt
you,
like she
hey,
has to tell me because they were gone. Nobody was living there anymore. So she called me and
did you think in your head that they might have done it in order to justify getting back the securities?
Correct.
Why did you think that? You don't have any evidence of that, right?
That's true.
Okay.
Your Honor, like
Right.
in the email, it says, due to the ongoing discrimination and microaggression. Discrimination is part of the KKK thing we are speaking about.
Is
We
it?
didn't elaborate and say KKK, but we,
Okay, but
that's
what
what
if,
we're,
Okay, but the email was sent. They just testified that the email was sent before the sign was put on the fence. So it almost seems like they're lying. Do you think that there's any chance that the couple put that on their fence to help with their plea to get the security deposit back? Looks like this is where it's heading. What do you guys think?
somebody who wakes up to that, wouldn't that be the first thing out of their mouths? Let's talk about this because I have to, let's assume for a moment that you're going to change your testimony, both of your testimony, and tell me that that's what you were referring to on September 15th.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
All right.
All right. That's what you meant when you said microaggression. Okay, let's go with that. In order for you to break a lease, because you have a contractual obligation, what did he do wrong? Do you have any evidence that he sprayed that on there? No, of course not, right? You don't think for a moment he sprayed it. All right. So what would justify you breaking your lease?
if someone can go ahead and spray a KKK on our fence, who knows what they can do come breaking into our home
And I get you. I get exactly what you're saying.
and doing something to us.
And that's
Like,
fine. And you,
why would I
in
stay
life,
another
we have
night?
to make decisions. And sometimes those decisions cost us and not someone else. If you feel that the neighborhood is hostile and that the neighborhood has committed, somebody in that neighborhood committed a criminal mischief on that fence, okay, and it's super hostile, you don't want to live there. I wouldn't live there another second either.
Exactly.
I got it. Okay. But that's not all that is happening here. You want to be excused from having to pay the rent, which means he has to have broken some covenant that he owes you. What did he do wrong? Did you ever ask him after that?
But he didn't give us any information on way to like help us deal with this situation. It was all
Why
so
is he in a
dismissive-
unique position to
dismissive.
give you that?
It was just so dismissive. Like, oh, whatever. I felt like a copy and paste email. It didn't feel like there was some heart poured into this at all for
Okay.
all the numerous
But
amount
lack of heart, okay, and that may be so. However, that doesn't give you a legal leg to stand on. You have a lease that compels you to pay rent until the end of the lease.
If would the lease or any money matter if I was dead? It wouldn't matter, right?
Okay, no,
So
and
did I
that's
have to
why.
get to
And no,
that
no, no, no,
point?
hold on, stop right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So if you feel unsafe, then you move.
Exactly, that's what I
Yeah,
did.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Now you're being sued for the rent, and now what you need is something more than what you have. You are uncomfortable because the neighbors are rude. The neighbors, you feel that they're racist, and somebody spray painted KKK on there, and whoever spray painted that is an insensitive racist.
Of course.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, all that may be true. Did you call the police?
Yes.
Oh, you did? Can I see the police report? Because I didn't see that.
Yep. Here we go.
Okay. And what did the
7:45
police
in the
tell
morning
you?
is when the incident happened.
What did the police tell you?
It was literally the same guy that was called earlier for the noise complaint, so he didn't really do anything.
Okay. Graffiti spray painted on the fence. KKK. Tenants claim they feel neighbors have been discriminating against them. All right. Let me explain a couple of things. Okay. I find that somebody spray painting something like that, I would find that incredibly offensive. I would feel incredibly insulted, and I would not want to live there. That is a separate issue from me deciding whether you get to just break your lease and not pay any of the money that you owe. Having said that, you are very clear on September 15th that they were leaving at the end of the month. This whole, oh, they'd left for weeks and I didn't know and all that other stuff. By September 15th, what efforts did you make to re-rent the place?
I was trying to find a new tenant, but
And you didn't.
I didn't.
Now, did you, when this happened, I know you made the decision, I don't feel safe here, I'm leaving. I understand that. Let me tell you other things that you could have done. You could have told the guy that you're leasing the place from, I expect you to put some cameras out here. I don't feel safe and I want to know who's been doing this. I've called it into the police and I want you to speak to the neighbors. Something. Because it's one thing, don't roll your eyes at me. I'm looking at you. I'm looking right at you. You know I'm looking right at you. You know that, right? You understand that it is not me belittling what you went through. It's me having to call it. I call the balls and the strikes. You understand that, right? He didn't spray paint that on you. He didn't do that, but that's who you expect to eat $4,500. Why? What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong?
Right. Well, the problem is that
What did he do wrong? Don't whine to me
didn't
that
try
you
to
feel.
help
No,
us when we needed him to help us.
Tell me what he did wrong.
at the very least, with the security deposit, he didn't offer to like clean the fence or maintain the property.
Well, that's because you didn't give him a chance. First of all, in the email that you sent to him, you don't send him the police report. You don't tell him about the fence. So how is he supposed to know if you don't tell him?
Was that a phone
He
call
found
or
out
was
by
that
the
email?
neighbor telling him
It
after
could've
you guys had left.
It could have been a phone call that we talked to him about the KKK. Now,
It could have been or it was,
recording.
my dear. It could have been or it was. Because you're in court and you're under oath. Which is it? All right, folks.
Did you call him?
Yeah, I called him.
Because I was at work. So therefore you got a call. You got a call that.
Did you
that
ever
we
get
had
a call from him or did you find out by the neighbor? Stop talking to him directly. Did you ever get a call from him or did you find...
I don't recall this.
Of course you don't. Why would you deny something like that? Yes, you did. He called you.
Look,
okay.
it's not my responsibility for things you've
You're
done.
our landlord.
No.
You were our landlord.
He's your landlord! He is not your dad or the principal of the school you attend. He is your landlord.
Doesn't matter.
You have one obligation to him and he has one obligation to you. Okay?
So you
tell me what he did wrong. There are obligations that the landlord has to you, and none of them are things that he broke. He didn't break an obligation to you. He didn't, okay? That doesn't mean that I disagree with you moving. Move all you want. But then we have to discuss this, because he didn't do something wrong that would mean he has to eat $4,500. Now, when you sue for $4,500, you're already off because you already have $1,500.
That's true.
So that means what you're out is $3,000. And
This is ridiculous.
so basically, what you are suing for is something that you kind of already have, because you already have their security deposit. Can you put those papers down, please? Do we have a problem?
I am not happy with what's going on right now.
Okay, you can go ahead and
go ahead
you can step
Hold on,
outside.
let me say
Go
what
ahead.
I
No, you
I feel
already
like
said.
you're
No, I'm not going to tolerate you
helping me with this
disrespecting the
right
court.
now.
You're going to
not
have to
helping me with
go
this
ahead.
situation.
Go with my bailiff, please.
This is
You can
frustrating.
go with her, or you cannot go with her. It's up to you.
This is frustrating.
She's probably going to be mad you didn't go with her, but we're going to wrap this up. Okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
I think it's horrible what happened. Okay? I don't even disagree that you move out. I have a different issue to decide, and that's whether or not he did something wrong. You say he did something wrong because he didn't fix your problem. That is not his job as a landlord. His job as a landlord is to let you rent the place for a certain amount of money and keep it in correct repair. A crime was committed against you. That's called criminal mischief. That would not allow you to break a lease. That doesn't just let you break a lease. You then are in a position to tell your landlord, we feel violated. I would like cameras out there. I need more security. And then he has a chance to say yes or no. I'm going to spend the money. I'm not going to spend the money. None of that happened. What happened is you send him an email. Now you're telling me, yeah, we must have called him. He denies that you called him. I don't know whether you called him or not. It doesn't matter. Here's what I find. I find that you did not have a right to break the lease over this because he did not fail. And please do not misunderstand this with me being insensitive to the horror of this. I am not insensitive to the horror of this. It's just that I got to take it out on the right person. You understand? I can't just take it out on him because he owns the place. Do you get it? You get it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
But having said that, even though they don't have a right to break the lease, you don't have a right to sit back for 3 months. You don't. You have to do something to mitigate your damages, and you did zero. I find that you're entitled to a month's rent, and that's understanding. That gives you a month and a half to re-rent the place because he tells you in an email September 15th he's leaving. He's already paid September, so you had until the end of October to find somebody, and you did zero to find somebody. So I am going to allow you to keep the security deposit for that 1 month, which you already have, but you're not going to get an additional $4,500 certainly, but you're also not going to get an additional $3,000 either, because you did nothing to mitigate your damages, and that is the responsibility of a landlord in these types of cases. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
All rise.
Wow. Okay, you know, my heart goes out to the couple because obviously, clearly, the judge was right. A crime was committed against them, and it was a horrific, disgusting crime, right? But that's not necessarily the fault of the landlord. The landlord has one single obligation, which was to make sure that the house is in working order and that the place is there for them to use. So I totally agree with this judgment. It's awful, the things that happened to her, and I wish that they were able to catch the person that did it. I don't have any idea who did it. Would it be the old lady next door, or would it be like another person that lives in the neighborhood, or is it just kids being stupid kids? I have no idea. What do you guys think about the judgment? Do you think it was too much, too little, or just right? I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know.